Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to another edition of Messi and Co. I'm Ashley here, as always, with my incredible co-host Gian, and today we are doing the official Inter Miami versus CF Montreal preview. How we feeling, Gian?
I'm doing good, but you caught me off guard with that happy Friday.
Because
Because
we're recording.
obviously,
Okay, fine. We'll break down the fourth wall. We're recording this Thursday night, but it's going to be coming out Friday morning.
You threw me like a crazy curveball. I'm like, damn, what?
A crazy curveball because I said it was the next day. Oh my god, you should
Yeah,
hear the
I don't
nervous
know.
things
I don't
Gian
know.
talks
I've
about.
I've had
Like
a lot
he's a
going on
nervous
today.
man.
Yeah, I've had a lot going on today. I've still got somewhere I got to be after, and then that just threw me off. But yeah, happy Friday.
Well, now the facade's ruined. No one's gonna know we weren't
Let's
supposed to be
pretend.
saying
All
I'm
right,
doing this.
if you're listening, pretend you didn't hear that part. So yeah, happy Friday. Excited for tomorrow's game. But no, definitely excited for that game against Montreal. Excited
That
to talk
game that's
about
in the
it.
distance.
Yeah, we're obviously coming off an amazing win this past week against the New York Red Bulls, a revenge match after they beat us 4-0. So it's good. And we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Messi continues to break records. Inter Miami continues their winning streak. And now we've got an opportunity to go in and break more records and beat another team that beat us. So that's exciting. So I'm excited to get on with it. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, it's like a revenge tour, hopefully, that keeps going. I mean, think about it. We had Nashville beat them, and even though we had beat them in the previous things, it still always feels like, I don't know, like it's always feels tense, right? Playing
Yeah.
Nashville. And then same thing to your point. We beat New York Red Bulls, and hopefully we beat Montreal. And for that game, we will have a little bit potentially more help than we had the week before. And that brings us to our team update section. Jordi Alba is back training fully with the team, which is great. And I think almost a little quicker than I thought. I didn't think he was going to be ready until the following week. So, I mean, I don't know if he's going to start, but he seems to be back fully training, fully fit and available, which is great news. I mean, look, Franco Negri has done a fantastic job. And if Franco Negri starts on Saturday, you won't hear any complaints from me. Obviously, Jordi Alba is a step above Negri, and so having him back, to add to the Barcelona boys and adding to just like the consistency and strong performances is can do nothing but help us.
Yeah, anytime you can have one of the top four players on the team come back, it's really good, both from a soccer perspective, but also from a morale perspective, from a camaraderie perspective, and just having the team just gel and be together. And those guys obviously enjoy all four of them playing together. Negri's done a great job, like you said. I think that Negri will probably still get time depending on some of the games, depending on different I think situations. We've seen Tata Martino already do that, where he will bring in Negri regardless if Alba's playing or not. But I think it's really good, and I think that it's interesting that Inter Miami is now on this little 4-game winning streak. Not little, but it's a nice winning streak, a 4-game winning streak without some of the key guys playing most of these games. Like we talk about Jordi Alba, him missing time. Talk about Diego Gomez missing time. Talk about Redondo missing time. So it's really going to be interesting as these key players start to make their way back onto the team. Insane. Like you look at this team, like, can they get better? Yes, they can. Which is
they can. And look, like we said, I mean, we keep talking about kind of like the shadow that's lingering, that's coming, which is that we're not going to have Messi. We may not have Suarez either. He made that initial roster for Uruguay, so we'll have to see. But we definitely won't have Messi. And to your point, like look, Jordi Alba, we've seen a couple instances where and when you do that, you will see Negri be able to play left back. Like just being able to have some flexibility is really important because we're going to need to be doing some big rotations. We're going to have new pieces come in when there's no Messi and maybe no Suarez. So it's great, and no Matias Rojas. So it's very important that players keep coming back.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that with this team, one of the things that was important going into the season, remembering what happened last season with the injuries, is to make sure that we had enough depth on this team to be able to go into a season that was going to be not only, I think it was going to be a season that had a jam-packed schedule, look, not, I would say some people will feel differently, and I'm not necessarily going to share my opinion now about the U.S. Open Cup. But we went into the season thinking you're going to have U.S. Open Cup, you're going to have Leagues Cup, you're going to have Champions Cup, all these all of these tournaments, and on top of that, knowing that you you've suffered because of injuries last season, it was important to have all these guys that could just slot in
Yeah.
and where some players might be better than others, you weren't necessarily going to be missing that much when others came in. So it's great to when Alba comes out, you've got Negri that came back from injury, and he's a guy that was starting for you last season.
Right.
You have players that come out. Maybe Robert Taylor isn't playing, but now you have a guy like Matias Rojas. You have
Hmm.
the midfield is stacked, and you've got so many different players available.
Ramasky, Ruiz, yeah, so many.
Player like even up front, you depend on Suarez. He's the best forward you have, but then you have right behind him, you've got Leo Campana.
Who's no scrub. Like, yeah, he hasn't had a great run of form, but like,
Start
there's
on a lot
still
of
plenty of
teams.
teams who would use him. Yeah.
Yeah, he would start on a lot of other teams, and you have him. It's a luxury to have him on the bench. So
Yeah.
I think it's just great that we've added this depth to this team so that we can continue amidst these injuries, still playing great, and again, be going on a win streak.
Totally. And I mean, look, we may see, obviously, not may, we're going to see that our back four is going to switch. Maybe not Alba, but it will switch because Tomas Aviles can't play because he has
Yeah,
yellow card accumulation. And so he is suspended for one game. We'll probably see Christoph, who is back and healthy, take his spot. Maybe Ryan Taylor, but probably Christoph. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, that really should be fine, for the back four, as it shouldn't be too much of a change. We'll have to see. But at least we do have a couple options for the center back pairing that we'll see how it plays out. So yeah, that's basically team updates. No new injuries, thankfully.
yeah,
And having Jordi Alba back obviously is going to make a huge difference. Even if it's not starting, it's still going to make a huge difference. But someone who we do have, who I don't know if you know this or not, Gian. We haven't really talked about it. But Lionel Messi plays for Inter Miami, and so we have a pretty good player on our hands that at least this week we know will be there starting. And you know, what can we say about him except for the fact that he is in the Golden Boot race right now, co-leading with Luis Suarez, even though he's played like 4 less games,
yeah.
and is right now the odds-on favorite for the MVP. And if everything stays the same, I think he's going to win both. But at least he's certainly going to win the MVP. Could you think of any reason he really wouldn't?
The only reason he wouldn't would be, I mean, some people are talking in the media that some maybe Copa America, the time he misses there, which could be 5-6 games, that somebody else might come up and maybe statistically you know get into the mix. But I don't buy that. Like, I don't think there's any way, as long as he comes back healthy from Copa America, I don't think there's a chance that anybody can dethrone him from what looks like to be his first MVP here in MLS. I think that, especially when you've got a Leagues Cup coming up, and if Inter Miami is able to win that Leagues Cup for a second time in a row, Messi's probably going to be a huge part of it, just like he was at the first time around.
Yeah.
And then just continuing going on a tear like he has this first part of the season. Like, we talk about, yeah, him missing some games, but to your point earlier, out of the 12 games Inter Miami has played, he's only played in 8, and he's still leading in.
22 goal contributions
Yeah,
in
that's
8 games.
that's crazy. So I don't think the
That's almost 3 a
conversation
game.
around,
Like,
yeah,
that's almost 3 a
oh,
game.
it's
That's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, so I don't think the conversation
Yeah.
around him missing time is going to be anything meaningful. I don't think it's going to change anything. So right now, I really don't see anything outside of something, fingers crossed, an injury that makes him maybe miss more time.
Right.
I don't think there's anybody taking him out of that. I mean, he's a guy that comes in, and anytime he's on the pitch, it doesn't matter what happens. If he's on there, you feel like you're going to win. Like, you literally feel like you're going to win. How many times have we gone down early, and then Messi decides to turn it on in the second half and goes and gives you 5 goal contributions in a goal? Like, it's just nuts. That's what he's been doing his whole career. Teams have
Yeah.
all depended on him. Barcelona depended on him. We see what Barcelona looks like now after his departure. They're not even half the team they were when he was on there, and it makes you realize how much they depended on him, how much he carried that team. Same thing for Argentina. If it wasn't for Messi, they don't win Copa America. If it wasn't for Messi, they don't win the World Cup. Like, all these teams. It's not just an Inter Miami thing.
No, it's a
Any team
Messi
he's
thing.
been on,
It's the greatest of all
it,
time thing.
greatest of all time. So to not go any further, there's not much that can change Messi's trajectory to becoming the MVP this season.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, look, at this point, again, knock on wood for injuries and all that kind of stuff, this team is poised to make a very deep playoff run, poised to potentially um win, having the best record and being uh just one of the best MLS teams really of all time potentially. And so there's so much room, the supporter shield, sorry, I couldn't think of the name. That we have a lot that we could do. We can become MLS Cup champions, Supporter Shield, Leagues Cup. You know, if Messi keeps doing, even if he was doing 70% of what he's doing right now, he probably could be the
Yeah.
MVP. I mean, 22 goal contributions in 8 games is, even for him, it's like, are you sure? Crazy. And so yeah, it's just been great to see. And look, Luis Suarez, like I said, he's tied with him for Golden Boot for the goals he scored. To everyone's credit, to what we hoped, and we, like everyone else, look, the first couple of games I was like, oh gosh, like that knee looks like it hurts. Wrong once again, because he is playing, and he's playing so efficiently, right? Like, no, he
Yeah.
doesn't make every single perfect run. A lot of, if it's one-on-one, him versus a defender, most likely the defender is faster than him. But if Luis Suarez sniffs the ball in a dangerous area within the 18-yard box, I'm not betting against him to
It's
score.
the football IQ in him. He knows when he has to make his runs. He times his runs. He knows how to conserve his energy. He knows how to make sure that he's not running around like a chicken with his head cut off. He knows what he's
Yeah,
supposed to do to make sure, especially at this point in his career, it just wouldn't be, I think, the most intelligent thing for him to just play like he used to and maybe
right.
exert the same amount of effort running. And I mean, soccer takes a much more physical toll on him now at this age and at
Right.
this moment in his career. He's playing it smart, and playing it smart is working for him very well, as we can see. So I don't want him to change anything. I don't
Right.
expect
He's
him
being
to
so
run.
efficient.
I
He's
don't
being
expect him
amazing.
to chase every ball. I don't expect him to go into the midfield to help on defense. He has one job. That one job is stay up front, wait
Score
for
goals.
a pass, score goals, do score, make assists, and I think that Tata Martino has set up this team to make him excel at this point in his career, and he said it himself in the conferences where he says, "Look, I just want Messi and Suarez to stay up front. That's what I want them to do."
Yeah.
Because earlier on, we saw Messi having to go into the midfield,
Right.
and that kind of took away from the offensive side. Now Tata has changed that, and I think Suarez is in a great position to continue to excel, and he might end up being head to head, like at the end, and for the MVP conversations. Unfortunately for him, it's against Messi, so Messi's gonna win.
Yeah. But look, he could win the Golden Boot. I mean, he, to
Yeah.
your point, just playing really, really great, and it's wonderful to see. I also think Sergio Busquets, who we haven't really talked about much in the last few weeks, because like we haven't talked about him negatively, or not that we ever like really talk so negative, but there were times we were like, he seems like they're asking him to do too much, this, that, and the other. Last
Mhm.
few weeks, especially thinking about that pass for the goal against New England Revolution, just
Oh
an
wow.
absolute insane pass. Yeah, the midfield has definitely balanced out, and part of that, Gressel too, like they've been able to create a much better balance, and they've been able to, he's been finding his pockets of space, making the right passes, helping as a center back when needed, and just playing really good soccer. So it's great to see. But now that we've talked about our players a little bit, let's talk about the game. Okay, the game that's happening Saturday, tomorrow, against CF Montreal, in Montreal. This is actually a fun fact. The first professional, or yeah, competitive game Lionel Messi has ever played in Canada. Fun
Oh
fact.
wow. Fun fact.
Fun
Yeah, that's
fact. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Never played in Canada before. So that's gonna be fun. Like,
And it'll be sold out. His first game ever. So
yeah. Don't you know? Like, it's gonna be fun. Not that everyone talks like that in Canada. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that'll be fun. And how I always like to describe this Montreal team this year is that it's the team of the ghosts of Inter Miami's past, because and one of the three who I'm going to mention is not going to be playing because he's injured. But when we played them in the beginning of the year and they beat us at home, they had in their starting lineup Ari Lassiter, Joseph Martinez, or actually maybe Joseph Martinez didn't start. He may have come off the bench, but Joseph Martinez and
He
Bryce
definitely
Duke.
played. Yeah.
Yeah, and Bryce Duke. Three of some of who were at the time, some of our more valuable Inter Miami pieces. And this was during a couple of years ago when it was, a tougher team, tougher environment, and not tougher as in harder, more like it was tougher situation. Um, and look, they're all happy in Montreal. I think Bryce Duke was what I remember. He's a really good young player, young talent. Could have gone really far with us, but sacrifices had to be made in order to get where we are now, which is understandable. But he cooks in the midfield when he plays. Same Ari Lassiter, speedy. Has good opportunities for goals. And while there obviously are a lot of other pieces to Montreal, it just makes me laugh when I see them. The starting lineup, and I watch them play, and I just am like, I feel like it's 2021 watching Inter Miami again. So yeah.
Yeah, it's basically Montreal looking at I guess their bigger brother, like
Right.
but it's yeah. I mean, they've got a ton of players that you played for Inter Miami, and I don't know. I don't sometimes when you have these types of games and your players that are playing their former teams, they like to kind of show
Turn
up a
it up.
little
Yeah.
more, and they've got something to prove, and whatever the situation is. Hey, maybe
Christopher McVeigh in the DC game, I think of. He
yeah.
turned it up. He was like trying to knock us out.
Yeah, no, and it's a shame Martinez isn't gonna be available.
Yeah.
It's he definitely played well against us they played here in Miami, but I guess it's always nice to revisit some of the players that used to be on your team and that sort of thing. But I don't think that I don't think Miami cares. I don't think Miami's gonna take it easy on them because
No.
I think it'll be a quick hey, I hope you're doing good handshake and right into the game. This is going to be an interesting game. I think that anytime, and we've said this basically on every episode, anytime a team plays against Miami, it doesn't matter where they are in the standings. It doesn't matter what their record looks like. They're going to always get up and they're going to try to prove something. And especially a team that like Montreal that has, started off well and then hasn't been
Struggled.
doing
Yeah.
so good as of late. Like what better way to get out of a slump than to beat a top dog in the league? So I think that they're definitely going to try to do that in front of their home fans. I think that it'll be interesting too. Like, what does a stadium look like? Obviously, there's always a lot of Inter Miami fans, no matter where the game is.
Yeah.
But also, this is a great. I think like if I lived in the Northeast, I think this would be a cool game to go to. Like it's I think it's a 4-hour drive from from Syracuse and
Right.
like a 2-hour drive from Vermont. Like if you ever wanted to go watch a Messi game and wanted to go visit Canada and that
Yeah.
sort of thing, like this is a perfect game to go to. So,
It's
so I
almost
feel
like
like
it's French. It's really cool.
yeah,
Montreal is a really cool city.
yeah, so I feel like it'll be a fun time, and I think a lot of people will be there rooting, obviously, for Messi, rooting for Inter Miami. So that'll be interesting to see kind of like what that mix looks like
Yeah.
at the stadium. But then as far as these two teams, Inter Miami, obviously they're the number one team in the East, number one team in the Supporters Shield. They're coming off they're on a 4-win winning streak right now. I think they haven't lost in
Convincing
about
wins as well.
yeah, all convincing wins. They haven't lost a game in about 5 or 6 matches. But then you talk about Montreal that just came off of a 4-1 defeat to Nashville. They're now 11th place in the East.
Yeah.
They are on a 3-game losing streak. They're the team that has the most goals against in MLS right now. So, I mean, they're not doing well. They're not
Yeah.
doing well. And I think what's going to be interesting is we've talked about this 3 center back like formation that Miami has endured twice, and they've gone scored on the most. But it's not going to be Miami this time. Montreal is a team that uses this 3 center back formation when they play. So I'm wondering, like, are they going to play with 3 center backs, or are they going to go with that back line of 4? Because I feel like they're going to get killed if they I don't know what they're going to do. It'll be interesting to see what they do moving forward and as they play against us and against a team that has the most goals in MLS. Like it'll be interesting to see what that formation looks like, I think. But they have a
Yeah.
lot of injuries too, which kind of
Yeah, never good to see injuries, but like look, we go through it too. It's part of the game. But yeah, to your point, look, this is a game where I think it's last week, yes, it was a test, but it was a home game. We had, I think, the momentum. We had the excitement, etc. This is you're going into an away environment against a team who's already beat you this year, and it's still difficult. And I think they haven't been playing well. They're on a losing streak. They get a lot of goals scored on them. This needs to be a game where Inter Miami keep pushing and push
Yeah.
and when they win, and I hope they win convincingly too, because it's matches like this where you can't take your foot off the gas, especially knowing that, look, it is going to be difficult without Messi for when we don't have him, whether it's 3 games or 6 games or whatever the case may be. You cannot expect this team to get the exact same results without him. I hope we do get great wins, and we'll figure it out when we get there. But
To be
games like
clear,
this, it's important.
what you're saying is we need to take advantage of
Yes,
these
of
games
these
right now
times,
before
exactly.
Messi,
We play
before
them,
Messi.
then we play Orlando midweek, and then we play DC, and all 3 games we should win.
Yeah, and I think it's important also to make sure, to your point of keeping, what the heck did you say, the gas pedal down or something?
Yeah, keep your foot
Yeah,
on the gas.
yeah. If you've watched this,
It's an
I'm horrible with,
Americanism.
yeah, I'm horrible with these things. But
As if
you
you're
know,
not American, but you know what I mean.
I'm just really bad with them. I
Yeah,
just recently
that's
said,
okay.
I was at a meeting at work, and I said a night out in the town, and it's apparently whatever. I digress. Anyways, the whole point is this Inter Miami team. We know that starts off slow. They've done that 4 games in a row where they get scored on first. They get scored on first,
But
and
not
then in
six
the second,
minutes.
and now that, yeah, we finally broke the streak of not getting scored on within the first 6 minutes. So what's that? but but this team needs to, like, play from the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
don't wait to get scored on before you show up
And
and
don't wait to come in the game. Yeah, take advantage from minute
yeah,
one.
take
And
advantage.
hopefully
So
this will
that's
be a good opportunity to do so.
yeah. So that's something I kind of want to look forward to this game, and hopefully we score first here, and we're playing our top level from the very beginning, from minute one. And yeah, I think that as long as that happens, I think we'll be in a good spot. And look, I know we're gonna get into our predictions soon, but just to lay it out, I'm not overly concerned about this game.
Yeah.
I
And
think
that's a great transition. I feel the same way. I feel like this should be a good game, good atmosphere, and hopefully a good victory for Inter Miami. But we do have to give our predictions, Gian Shadamis, and we're going to do that now. And even though you are wrong, wrong, no, you have
hey, I'm
it, but
human. It just shows I'm
it's a
human.
new week. It's a fresh week, and we'll see. To be fair, I don't think anyone had 6-2 on their bingo card, and if you did, give me next week's lottery numbers because I'm interested. But yeah, I mean, look, for this game, I'll start in saying how I think it's going to shake out. I think it's going to be 4-1. A 4-1 victory for Inter Miami. I think, to your point, like you said, they have the most goals scored on them, and we are right now in goal scoring form. And Red Bulls, a great team who had a very strong defense. We were able to get 6 past them. I think Matias Rojas will be starting, and in place of David Ruiz most likely. And maybe we'll see a Kremowski, maybe we'll see Robert Taylor. We'll see how that kind of shakes out. But I think you'll see Matias Rojas, you'll see Suarez and Messi all start, and that's really all you need to score lots of goals. So yeah, I'm putting in a 4-1 prediction. I do think they will score. I hope they don't score first, but I think they'll get at least a goal in. But I'm, predicting a big dub.
I like that 4-1. I like it. I like it a lot.
It's a
All right.
risky one. I mean, it's still hard to
Yeah.
predict 4-1. Like, that's really saying,
No, that's bold. I like it. I like it a lot. There you go. 4-1. It's a
Astrodamus.
good one. Let's see if you can become Astrodamus.
I just said that. You didn't hear me?
Yeah,
I
did
just said
you?
Astrodamus. You didn't hear me?
Oh no, I'm just so used to hearing Gian before Stradamus. Sorry. But
Okay.
all right. So yeah, so that obviously is gonna be Drake in the calendar, and Drake calendar and Drake in the
Drake in the
calendar.
calendar. So true.
It's gonna be Drake calendar in the goal. Then you're gonna have hopefully Alba starts. It'd be cool to have him start. I don't know if they're gonna rush him back right away or if he'll come in
But I
maybe
feel
later
the
on.
same at this point. Like, either of
Yeah.
them, I'd be perfectly fine with starting.
Yeah, I'd be perfectly fine. And then obviously, like you mentioned earlier, with Aviles not being available, it'll probably be Christoph. And then Busquets and Gresso are always the cemented into that midfield. To your point, Matias Rojas, after that performance that he had, I don't know how Ruiz starts over him.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously up front, you've got Suarez, you've got Messi, and then probably Robert Taylor, most likely. So that's
Yeah,
a
I
real
mean, you can maybe see a world where it's Matias Rojas instead of Robert Taylor, and then in the
yeah,
midfield you keep maybe David Ruiz or you put in Kramaski, like that could happen. But
yeah.
yeah,
It can definitely happen. I think that it's just going to be the best 11. It'll be the best 11. There's no reason to
yeah,
rest anybody right now. That's not on the word rest is not on Inter Miami's mind right now at all.
agreed.
And then as far as the score is concerned, look, I think it's going to be a high scoring game, especially with this Miami offense facing a team that has not been doing well. I think to what you mentioned about them scoring a goal, I think that that's where I'm going to differ a little bit, just because they don't have Joseph Martinez, their top scorer in Kokaro. He's out. He has 3 goals from him. He's their top scorer. He's out. They're a team that
Yeah,
is going to be I feel like struggling offensively with their key attackers out. I don't think they're going to score on us, so I'm going to go with it's going to be 0, and Inter Miami is going to score. I'm going to go 4, just because I really want to say 5, but man, that's risky. I'm going to go 4-0. So we're close.
we're
You got
close.
4-1. I got 4-0.
Well, good. We have faith in this team, and I'm excited to see it and watch it unfold. We will, because it is an away game and we won't be there. We will be doing an immediate post game live stream of our
Yeah.
immediate reactions, thoughts, highlights, etc. So make sure you're looking out for that. But yeah, it's exciting. It's another good game. Look, another opportunity for us to keep, like I said, putting our foot on the gas, keep getting more great performances out of Messi, out of Suarez, keep getting the consistency within the team, and keep building on what is hopefully going to be an advantage in momentum going into summer, when we're obviously going to have some changes in the lineup and stuff like that. So we're excited. We'll be there. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your predictions. And as always, please make sure you are following us on Twitter/X at Messi and Co. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, 5 Reasons Sports Network, and have the notification bell on. And then TikTok, Messi and Co. 5RSN, where we are always posting content. We want to hear from you, highlights, questions, ideas, predictions, all that good stuff.
And don't forget to like the video. Thumbs
And
up it.
yeah,
Thumbs up
like
it.
the video, comment your score prediction, and we will see in the end who maybe we'll start doing a Stradamus of the week.
Oh, hey, that's a cool segment. All right, yeah, yeah, for
We'll
sure.
do whoever comments the score, and
I
maybe
like that.
even if you want, you could say who you think is going to score the goals, because maybe if there's multiple people who have it, but you can put what you want.
I
But
love it,
we'll
love it, love it.
shout you
Stradamus
out.
of the week. Let's go.
Stradamus of the week. We'll shout you out in our next episode. And it'll be really fun. So thank you for watching this edition of Messi and Co. I'm Ashley. That is Gian, and we will see you next time.